Okay, next we have Bearded Dragon Brews. So this is for Garrett. I think so far this has been coming a long way in terms of how it started and where it's at now. I think the drawing quality looks good. The only thing I would caution you about is your line quality, because once you really zoom out, you kind of lose that overall line quality. So my suggestion for you is whether or not you even need that line and whether or not you want to work with the color of those shapes that you have overlapping one another to form this illustration right here. So that might be something you might want to focus on. In terms of looking at this in black and white form. So what would this logo look like in black and white, just to see what those forms look like. So if we got rid of this outline and just, played around with a darker color here and a lighter color here and maybe just a hint to show that underbelly of the dragon, what would that look like? And also take a look at, what those colors might look like as a whole. And I think right now you're putting this in some sort of a shape, which is not a bad idea. However, the color of the shapes seems to be a little bit very similar to the color of the dragon right here, so it's not really providing enough contrast to really see the dragon, especially when you zoom out. So this color choice needs to be thought out a little bit more deeply. So really think about the contrast and the shape that you're putting your logo on, and whether or not it's doing you any justice, or you might want to take it out entirely. All right. So really think about those extra shapes, if whether or not you even need them. The next thing would be is taking a look at your typography. I'm not sure if this is going to be something that you might think is appropriate for your logo type. I would question you as to why we're doing a hand-drawn font. And also take a look at the size relationship to your image right here. So you might want to take a look at how this relates to readability, especially when you zoom out. As you can see, it just completely disappears. So really look at scale. See if there's a way to just look at your type a little bit more differently. So I'm just going to see if I can do something here that might help. Yes. So if we just enlarged your type like so and just made it a little bit bolder, as you can see already it just reads a little bit more clearly. I'm just going to block this off just for the sake of demonstrating here what type might look like, and bring this over a little bit. But as you can see, this already reads a little bit more clearly this way, just because the scale was a little bit problematic, and also the type of font that you're using too. So I'm wondering if there's something that we can simplify in terms of that font choice, just so that we can read things a little bit more clearly. Now, one thing you might want to look at here is it looks like he's on a tabletop of some sort, so maybe that's something that you can use for your logo. So kind of like him sitting with his beer, with his glass of beer. This kind of acts as a tabletop in a way. Again, think about your placement of your type and if that makes sense, or whether or not you need to stack your type in a way that you're forming a different treatment altogether. So I'm not sure if this is going to be the right approach, but you might think about how this is going to work, or whether or not your type needs to be next to the dragon. But I would recommend maybe doing something like this and see how well this works better. So think about that for your next step for next week. Okay? All right.